Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, happy Monday to you. Happy April Fool's Day. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you on this Facebook Live. Let's talk about our weather. We have a little hiccup coming through in the next 24 hours. We're going to go over that. We're going to also talk about a beautiful warm-up and your next chance of precipitation. We're going to get it all done right here. As is always the case on Hutch's Weather, I love to see where you're joining me from. I appreciate your support, passing the word along that Hutch is doing the weather. And when it gets sunny and delightful like we have across much of the region today, things are fairly nice. Let's take a look at that satellite loop as we begin our work week, begin the new month with a trend that is going in the right direction. All of the snow that we had earlier up across Minnesota is starting to melt away. We see most of the Northern Valley very free of snowpack. A few clouds streaming along associated with a cool front that will be passing through. Hi, Brenda. Good to have you on board, and I hope your week and month is off to a very good start. No fooling. Here is a look at that radar as we get going with our afternoon today. The storm system that we talked about being in South Dakota is indeed impacting portions of the I-90 corridor and points south. So from Chamberlain to Pierre, we have some snow showers flying there. This extends into parts of Minnesota as we look off in towards Red Wing. That is where we do have some sprinkles of rain. It's mainly south of the Twin Cities right now, and the skies are definitely gray there. Winter storm watch in effect for northern Michigan, Oshkosh, Bagash, and all the way up into Marquette and Houghton. Sault Ste. Marie also in that mix. But for us, we have a little weather wiggle coming at us from Canada, that batch of clouds I was showing you. Let's talk about what that means for your forecast, and let's get to your questions and your input. As always is the case, ooh, I can feel it. You know, it's a new month. That sunshine feels so fantastic, and it just brightens everybody's spirits. And, I've been a little under the weather the last few days, but with sunshine like this, things are looking fine. Now, here's the morning update. Tuesday morning, an early mix of snowflakes is going to be possible mainly in our northern counties. And as we go through the day, our wind is going to shift from a southwesterly direction that'll be quite light to a northwesterly one that will be gusty. But the best chance of snow in the morning, our northern valley into northwest Minnesota and rapidly exiting. Then our wind shifts, and that wind shift is not going to bring an icebox, but it is going to bring a struggle to get any warmer than the weather that we enjoyed for today. Dawn, hi. Back to teaching tomorrow, as she says. A lot of students enjoying another day on the Easter weekend as we go through. Oh, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about our forecast, shall we? All right. Now, there is big thunder in the forecast for the nation's midsection. It's getting going right now. A few days ago, I highlighted the risk of severe weather today and again tomorrow. And some strong tornado risk does accompany this storm system, and some super duper heavy snow for portions of the Great Lakes as well. Check out this video on my YouTube page. But for now, let's focus on our neck of the woods. Here is a look at what Hutch is expecting as we go through. Now, as you start your day, look at the time here. 2 a.m. Who's up at that time? Well, if you happen to be walking the cat or walking the llama at 2 a.m., peaceful, quiet, there's clouds going to be dashing through with this cold front. That's when we'll have the best chance at snow in the northern valley and into northwest Minnesota. So this is an overnight kind of thing. And here is where we're expecting to start our temperatures in the early part of the day. Pardon me while I grab the right graphic here. Morning temperatures with that snow shower going to be generally in the 20s up in northwest Minnesota to near 30 down to the south. Look at Fergus Falls, 35 degrees with a southeast wind and southwest wind, I should say. That southwest wind will keep our temperatures a bit on the milder side as opposed to the wilder side. Now, as we go to late morning, here's where that cold front will be pushing through. It'll be making its way towards International Falls and Bemidji as you approach the drive time in the morning. So if you are Babe the Blue Ox or Paul Bunyan getting ready to go out and do some wood chopping, if you're in Fergus Falls, that's when you'll have a chance at those clouds moving through, and we can't rule out a sprinkle. It should be insignificant as far as how much falls, but here's the wind shift. Once you see the wind shifting from this southwesterly wind to a northwesterly one, you will know that the front is through your area. And there could be a few wraparound snow sprinkles up near the international border or mixed precipitation sprinkles, but the rest of our Tuesday, not looking too bad at all. Here's your temperatures that you can expect in your hometown as a result of another beautiful April day. No fooling. All right. North winds, 15 miles per hour. The weaker winds will be out to the west to 30 miles per hour here in the valley and points east. So it'll be a little on the gusty side, and it'll be from a cool direction from the north. But I don't think we'll see temperatures suffer much of a setback at all in our southern counties, near 50 degrees. So 45 to 50 on the I-94 corridor and point south. You go north of that, it will be a bit cooler, and the coolest weather will be in northwest Minnesota. So if you are in the Thief River area, if you are in War Road, expect temperatures in that near 40 degree range. 41 for Babe the Blue Ox out there. Thank you so much, Don. I appreciate your support of stars right here on Hutch's Weather. All right, that's a look at that. Now the planning forecast. Does it get better? Oh, yeah. Check this out. Man, we're talking about temperatures that are really going to start sticking it to us. Now, if you like hot weather and warm weather, this is the forecast for you. So a couple of flatline days near 50 degrees, less wind on Wednesday. That's your hump day, and we are over the hump with climbing temperatures. I do think we'll have a legitimate shot at some 70-degree reading in the southern part of our viewing area, southern half of North Dakota, into South Dakota as we go into the weekend. So we'll break into the 60s. What snow we have will be basically obliterated, and then heading into Sunday, into Monday, we'll have our next chance at some precipitous precipitation in the form of rain right now. The way it looks, does it look severe? Way too far to tell. It doesn't look like a potent system at all. So Hutch's bottom line, Tuesday cool front, but only a cool front, not cold. It will be breezy though. So let's see, where is it? I keep this handy. I highly recommend this particular brand, North Dakota Super Duper Hold Hairspray for tomorrow. Definitely something that will get you through the day, like Hutch Johnson's hair here. It's pretty much good for, maybe even a 1 rated storm on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Look at our low temperatures as well. You don't see us going down below freezing as we get into the weekend. And that's really going to do a number on the ice out there. And check these digits out. Record highs for Fargo are approaching 80 degrees and record lows are approaching 0. We're getting to that time of year where we're less prone to see the severe cold that we can get. Now, that doesn't mean we won't or that we can't, but it does look like a very good chance. So a nice dry spell. Here's a word of warning that you're going to hear from my friends at the National Weather Service. As we go through the late week with the warmth and particularly the wind and particularly the lower humidity, there's going to be an increased risk of fire danger as we enjoy this warm up. So please be very, very cautious with your burning. Each one of these days, beginning on Thursday right into the weekend, we're going to have gusty and dusty winds. So not only could we lose some topsoil here, but we're going to have that fire danger increase because the vegetation on the ground, very dry and dead from last year. It's exposed. With lower humidity, any fire could take off quickly with the wind. So please be super cautious of that. Otherwise, get out and enjoy some yard work. Get out and enjoy some spring cleaning, as it were. All right, here's a little sneak peek at what's going on nationally. Just for those of you that are interested, I don't see a lot of questions. I appreciate you, Stephanie. I appreciate you, Jeanette. I appreciate you, Kathy and Sherry, all of you for supporting Hutch with Stars. Check this nonsense out. Here's a look at severe weather across the nation, and this is what you're seeing. Right now, you're looking at a picture that shows that we do have some unsettled weather that's going to be very snowy in the northern Great Lakes. We have winter storm watches in the yellow counties up there. That's the north side of this system where it's going to be cold and there's going to be a good chance of heavy snow. But in the Central Plains now, this cold air exiting the Rockies is mingling with what we call Tornado Alley. And here's why tornadoes and thunderstorms are most prevalent in this part of the nation. South winds, Gulf of Mexico moisture. That mingles with the cold air coming off the high plains of the Rockies, and that is a volatile mixture. And even as we speak right now, we have strong thunderstorms as far north as Louisville, Kentucky, and Cincinnati, Ohio, and this spreads back into Tornado Alley. Here in Wichita, all the way down towards Tulsa, the atmosphere is extremely volatile, and there's a lot of spin. So there is the potential, as this event unfolds right now, that we could have a tornado outbreak in the south. Here are the active warnings in Abilene, a cluster of thunderstorms forming there along a dry line boundary where the air is extremely dry on one side. And we just got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning as we see right there near Seymour. So Storms spreading across the Central Plains will have our attention for today and for tomorrow, and here's where. You get the bonus coverage right here. Let's show you this nonsense. As we look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for severe weather, here it is. This is today's risk of severe weather, and I'll move this off the screen here so you can see. This is called a moderate risk of severe weather. There's only a few of these usually issued over the course of a year. Those are issued when the ingredients are all there and where we could have some, not just tornadoes, but violent tornadoes. EF2 or stronger tornadoes. Oklahoma City, Lawton, all the way down towards Wichita Falls and Ardmore. And that goes right up through Tulsa and kisses Joplin, Missouri. Storms are forming right now on the western edge of this area of concern, where the spin in the atmosphere is greatest. So that area will be the concern tonight, with a chance for some stout thunderstorms all the way up here into this next stage called the enhanced area. That's this little kind of orangish shade. The enhanced area is a level 1, 2, 3 on the severe weather scale that extends to 5 levels. So we can have some stout thunderstorms, St. Louis to Cincinnati, but those areas have that greatest risk coming into play as we go into the day tomorrow. Now check out where the tornado risk is the greatest as we just look at that today. Pardon me as I clear my throat there. So we have a hatched area, and that means there is a significant severe risk. Oklahoma City, Tulsa, all the way up through Springfield, Missouri, and into Rolla in parts of south central Missouri. And we're looking at northwestern Arkansas as well. A significant risk, and what the Storm Prediction Center says with regards to that, a 10% chance. So what does that mean? It means that any circle that you draw, there is a 10% chance that there will be a tornado, and possibly a very strong tornado, within about 30 miles to 50 miles of that circle. So that's a very good chance at a tornado. Remember, tornadoes are a storm, not like a winter storm that expands over hundreds of miles. It's like a pencil drop. And that wherever the tornado drops, the chance of a tornado and a chance of us seeing a tornado are fairly small compared to a large-scale storm system like a winter storm. So if there's a 10% risk of seeing a tornado within about 30 miles of a point, that is a very significant risk. So very large hail, 2 to 3 inches expected in these areas, damaging wind gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour for today. So the tornado risk is real all the way through Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and into St. Louis. That's for today's risk, and a sneak peek at tomorrow's risk. Thanks, Bonnie, for tagging and sharing. I sure appreciate all of you. Amanda says 69 on Saturday. Loving that. It sure is wonderful. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the storm outlook for the day tomorrow. This would be as we go into hump day, and we have another moderate risk. This moderate risk includes Columbus, Ohio, Cincinnati, Dayton. It shifts all the way up into the Ohio River Valley. These areas have a moderate risk. There's only usually a few of these issued by the Storm Prediction Center every year. Strong to violent tornadoes will be a possibility for viewers up there. So if you do have relatives up in the Ohio River Valley for tomorrow, or if you do have relatives in the Central Plains for today, give them a heads up to this video and old meteorologist Hutch Johnson, and we'll keep you up to date with the latest. Here's the tornado risk for tomorrow. Notice as I move this out of the way here that we have that enhanced area here. It's red and it is circled and it is hatched. Anywhere from Nashville all the way up to Cincinnati and Columbus has a risk of tornadoes that is quite large. As we take a peek at these digits for tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center has this at a 15% risk, which is even higher than today. This does extend down to the deep south. The risk in Atlanta and Birmingham is a little lower, but it certainly is not zero. But particularly from Nashville, Tennessee through Louisville, Kentucky, central Kentucky, and on into the Virginias, we do have a risk, particularly in northwestern West Virginia near Parkersburg, of a potential for strong to violent tornadoes. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. You know me. Thanks for sharing the word that Hutch is here to talk about the weather. It sure is fun to do that with you each day. I love the support that you provide me, and I'll have some exciting announcements coming soon right here on Hutch's Weather. So stay tuned for those as we break into the next quarter of the year. It does look like this severe weather risk is changing from more wintry weather to spring-like weather, and I'll keep you on top of all of it right here on Hutch's Weather. Have a wonderful April Fool's Day Monday night. And watch for stories on the central and southern plains severe risk tonight and tomorrow in the Ohio River Valley into the southeastern United States. You all are the goodest. Thank you so very much. And we will check in again for the night update right around 9 o'clock for those of you who are wanting to join me for the live broadcast.